Hello, hello, podcast listeners. This is Season 10, Episode 36 of the Otafest podcast.
Woo!
It
has been 1 week.
Okay, bare naked ladies.
It's been one week since I went to TCC.
Damn, that was good.
Nice. Well done.
Anyway, it's been a week. How has your hangover been, both of you?
I am actually fine. This is probably my best post-Otafest week.
Me too. It has been so hard to explain. It's been hard to explain. The hangover has been so hard in previous Otafest. This year was not the case. And, by no means was it a 100% everything went smooth, nothing deviated from the plan type of year. But it was good. I felt really good afterwards. Good enough where I was just 3 days later, I was like, hey, does anybody want to go for dim sum? My social battery is fine.
Nice.
Which is super surprising.
I was very lucky and I was spared of any con crud.
Same.
Yes, me
that's
too.
What I was thinking.
Did not get sick.
I have not heard of a case of con crud from any. I've seen our crew a few times since Otafest already. Last night we celebrated someone's birthday. That was an Otafest staff member's birthday. Before that, we did some storage things together because, there's always logistics on the back end post Otafest. No one seemed sick. Even everyone's voices sounded good. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah, I didn't lose my
that's
voice.
Wild.
Didn't get sick.
You love to hear it.
Oh my God. Have
yeah,
we hit our
it was
peak
super
era?
Nice. It's possible. We've hit our stride and we are doing fine.
So here's the thing I was thinking. So last year, for health-related reasons, I did not attend Otafest. And then this year I was like, I don't know how it's going to be. It's going to be am I just jumping back into the deep end? Am I going to be good? I did feel tired a little bit. I felt tired actually kind of throughout Otafest, to be honest, but not in a terrible way. I was just I need to get some better sleep and things like that. But I did really feel like Friday was hard for me. Saturday was a little hard. But then Sunday, I was like, I can do this con for another 3 days.
Oh my
Damn,
God.
you really hit your third wind.
I was just like, let's go. I'm here. I'm done. Let's get going.
No, by the time Sunday rolled around for me, I was like, I'm happy it happened, but I'm also happy it's ending.
Fair.
1 weekend is plenty for me.
Yeah, I agree.
It reached a conclusion and everything was good. It wasn't, it didn't feel like we were fighting a lot of things constantly. It didn't feel like an uphill kind of constantly summoning more and more energy from somewhere. It didn't feel like that. It just felt like everything was fine. And any little bumps were truly just little bumps.
Yeah.
I did have a quick 20-minute nap in our staff room. I just fell asleep in my chair, but I'm okay with that.
Good.
I've fallen asleep at Otafest before as a staff member. It's not the first time. I did it while I was young and we were still at the university. So
I think Otafest Saturday, I'd only gotten 4 hours of sleep.
Oh, that's rough.
It was a little bit difficult.
What happened to you? What happened
I
to
woke
you?
up at 4:30 in the morning, being
couldn't
my
go back.
body is awake now. You are ready for the day's excitement. I'm like, the fuck I am. I need 4 more hours of sleep. What are you talking about? I'm not ready. Let my brain lose consciousness once more.
Your body
no.
was ready.
Yeah.
I would say I probably
I'm
average
okay with
about
this.
6 hours over the week. Average 6 hours a night during the weekend.
That's not enough, but that is reasonable. I feel like
maybe
6
six
is
and a
the
half.
minimum you need to be a functioning adult. A functioning
agree.
human.
A functioning human, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can run, and Sean can attest to this, I can run on somewhere between 3 to 5 if I have to, but my happy sweet spot is somewhere in the 7 hours.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Yeah. I don't need 8 fully, but I definitely need 7 on a regular night.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the last time I got a solid 8 hours of sleep. I know
Oh.
it actually happens. It does happen.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure within the last month I have had at least a 1 8-hour night.
Amazing.
Isn't it
I'm so
isn't it
happy
great
for
to
you.
know? Isn't it great to know that this con is run by like sleep deprived, energy deprived people?
Yeah.
No,
So
not this
the
year.
majority,
This
the
year we were
majority,
relatively well rested and happy.
the majority of us are in our 30s, early 40s. We are no longer the spring chickens that we used to be.
Yeah.
I recall that I have been a staff member since I was 17 years old, and I've been with Otafest for 17 years.
Okay,
Therefore, it has
look.
been half my life.
Otafest has
Look.
literally been half of your existence.
Yep.
At the convention, a whole bunch of us went back and looked at old staff photos that were taken. And I was like, I
Yes.
remember this year, but I'm not here. There is very little proof in photographic form that I was a staff member on Otafest for most years, because when you're guest handling, you're not really around depending
You're
on
not
what
present. Yeah.
your guest's schedule is like. I might be taking them to the airport, I might be driving them somewhere, I might be helping them with something, and that usually means I miss the staff photo every single year. And this year was one of the rare years where I was actually around for it. So it's like the first time I've showed up in a staff photo in like at least 15 years or something. Like, it's crazy.
We captured you like a Sasquatch photo. You were slightly blurry for some
Rare.
reason, and you were in motion when all of us were sitting.
Yes,
Yeah.
sitting still. I looked like that weird, like, ghostly smudge in the back corner.
Oh,
There's
the Victorian
actually
ghost girl.
the massive photo from the closing ceremonies. You're actually pretty well in focus in that one.
Yes, I was in that one. It just sort of
Yeah.
happened. But, like,
Ah,
very
yes.
often I am not in staff photos because of just what our responsibilities are on days of. And so it was just really nice to be in a staff photo for once. And it was really, really cool to actually be around, like, feeling truly present.
That was good.
Yeah.
I have been in your role before, and I agree. It is, you're not as present as you may like to be during the con, but you're still doing a very important part. So,
And yet, this is the role I keep going back to. Like, I've been doing the same thing since Otafest started having guests.
Damn. Okay.
she's senior
Yes.
guest handler.
Professional
Ancient.
guest handler Nancy.
Ancient.
What do you mean professional? You're getting paid? What the heck?
No, we're not. None of us are being paid. Remember, none of us are paid for any of this.
Professional volunteer.
I am a professional volunteer.
Yeah.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
It was a heck of a year.
It really
fantastic.
was.
We
It
did
really
so many
was.
good things. I'm very
Closing
proud of
ceremonies went
everything
out
we
with such a
achieved.
good bang. Yeah.
Yes. We donated, well, not we donated, we raised at least $48,741 collectively to the Calgary Food Bank, which is the highest number we've ever had. And
Yeah,
the
that's
fact that
Collected for a
huge.
donation, yeah.
our
It's
community,
amazing.
the way that our community just keeps on showing up to help
I know.
others in need is
It's
just
amazing.
like immaculate vibes.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. I couldn't be more proud. I couldn't believe the final number when it was announced at closing ceremonies. Blew my mind. There were tears, like not
think-
just me. There were a lot of tears.
Yeah, we cleared the heck out of a $15,000 goal.
Yeah, we
Yes.
kind of did.
So very, very cool. And that's not including things like we also had stations set up for people to actually just bring in like non-perishables. So while that wasn't counted towards a dollar amount, I'm sure there was a good amount there too. Just honestly, super, super helpful to a great organization that really tries to help people with their basic everyday living conditions, honestly, right? Necessities of life.
Yeah, necessities of life. And just to put this into perspective, almost $49,000 equates to over $170,000 worth of actual food for people in need.
Yeah. Like Calgary
Yes.
Food Bank's got some kind of economy of scale going. They were telling us that for every dollar in donations they receive, they're able to give $3.50 worth of food, and that's just amazing.
Like fresh produce. So I talked about this at Otafest when it was happening last week, but I actually spent Thursday afternoon volunteering at the Calgary Food Bank right before I showed up at the
Yes.
Marriott to start actual work at Otafest.
Yes.
So I actually spent an extended period of time just volunteering for the Calgary Food Bank for the whole weekend.
That's
And
wonderful.
while I was there, I have a couple of things I really want to shout out to them for. Their volunteering experience is very smooth. You sign up for a shift, you show up, you fill out some forms, and then you just go and someone will take care of you and tell you what you need to do and how to do it well. And what did I spend my shift doing? I spent my shift sorting through giant crates of mandarin oranges.
Whoa.
And making sure that they were packaged away in like appropriate portions per hamper that was going out to a family. So it was like 10 to 12, depending on the size of the mandarins. And then you were also picking out the ones that didn't make it through transport. So the ones that got crushed, the ones that got punctured, the ones that are definitely going moldy, you like take all of those out and you throw them in a giant compost pile. And then the same thing for like a giant crate of potatoes and the same thing for a giant collection of like really big carrots. And so you're doing this very hands-on work that isn't necessarily difficult to do, but you know that you're creating a lot of really good impact for someone, for a lot of someones who need this. And I went with coworkers, so I actually had the chance to just like bond with my friends while doing good things, and it was just a really, really positive experience, and I really recommend it to people afterwards. I was like, I would do this every month. Like, I would. This is something really easy I can do. Shifts are 2 hours long. I can just go, show up, do some things, and hang out. I can count this as hanging out with my partner, with my friends, with my Oda fam. Like, this is easy.
Hell yeah.
That is a glowing review, and they deserve it.
Yeah, they absolutely do. So seeing it from two perspectives in very short amount of time, one, volunteering for them directly, but two, raising money for them. It was a really, really good month for me.
I'm glad to hear
A
that.
really nice month for me. But yeah, fantastic time. I'm really, really proud. Otafest did so much this weekend, and it's really clear that the impact was really important for a lot of people.
We have a like good vibes channel in our Slack. And it's just like it has nothing to do with being like congratulatory or anything like that. It's not like it's not
Like a
about
pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, it's not a pat yourself on the back channel so much as it is like seeing W's across the board for like attendees, for volunteers, and sometimes for staff as well. And it's hard to really quantify the amount of like good vibes there are that we hope to help generate in our community, right?
That we facilitate, yeah.
Yeah, because there's an old saying about like if everything is good, you'll never hear about it, but when things go bad, that's when you'll hear about it.
Yeah.
Here's probably one of my favorite things that I heard about this weekend is that something bad happened this weekend. Bad as in unfortunate, which was, one of our special guests couldn't make it to Otafest due to a family emergency. That's totally fine. We're all human. We have emergencies. So Alejandro couldn't make it. And we were anticipating like fallout, like serious fallout because, we work hard to bring these guests, but we don't want to disappoint anybody, and people can be understandably disappointed in those kind of situations. And, we had to come up with backup plans about maybe if we can get a replacement guest, that'd be great. We ended up with 2 replacement guests.
And they were both wonderful
Fantastic
guests.
people. Yes.
Amazing roles, wonderful talent, and just
Good people.
legitimately nice, good people.
Such nice people. It was so wonderful.
And I can't remember exactly, like, or rather, I don't know how much we actually ended up with, but we implemented an emergency refund policy for people who were going to be understandably like, I came here because I really wanted to see Alejandro, and now I can't. And we got very few refund requests, like
To my
very,
understanding,
very, very few.
over the first 24 hours after the announcement went out,
There
and I
were
believe
none.
even the first day of Otafest, there were literally no refund
There were none.
requests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
people
I
and
imagine it
people on
was
social media
less
were
than one
extremely
hand.
happy.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think people really called out that, hey, I really appreciate that you even offered refunds
Yeah.
in the first place. And it also says something to me that people showed up and that wasn't their focus. Like maybe it would have been something they were really looking forward to. But there were often a lot of times where I saw people say, oh, yeah, it's too bad. But I'm really vibing with the people who did come because if I had known, I would have done something totally different with my cosplay. I would have brought different things for autographs if I had known they were going to be here. Like, that is an exceptionally positive spin on something so dramatic as, hey, our guest lineup is changing all of a sudden. Very,
Yeah,
very
like
last minute.
literally as last minute as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it speaks to hopefully the event that we've built, that we do what we do and how we carry ourselves, like the content that we offer, community content being a huge part of it, and also just safe spaces to hang out and understand that while it's nice to see famous person who voiced or acted in something that you really loved, and that's a great experience, but it's not the only experience. It's far from
Yeah.
the only experience, right?
Yeah.
So we really
Absolutely.
appreciated them. And we sold out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did we sell out all 3 days?
Yep.
We absolutely did.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
The I think it's been consecutive years now, but you know, you never know. Like it's been a weird year in terms of the economy, you know, political stuff that we won't get into here, but everybody already understands intrinsically what we're talking about. You know, people might not want to prioritize Otafest, and we get that because you know we have lives to live for the rest of the 362 days of the year. You know, I get it, but
Yeah.
everyone showed up, and and we appreciate that.
Yeah. And you know what? Speaking of like minor things that kind of didn't go to plan, the weather did turn quite significantly over the weekend, and a lot of things were moved indoors. And I was grateful from my perspective because it meant that I got to indirectly see a lot of things I wouldn't get to see when I
Yes.
spend most of my time in more or less like two or three locations.
Yep.
So that was really nice for me. Did either of you happen to catch any of the performances that were brought indoors?
I was able to quickly see, only for a couple minutes, I got to watch the taiko drumming, and it's always awesome. You feel
I
it
got to
in
feel
your
those.
chest. It was awesome. Dio and we were walking through the vendors hall at the time, and then we could hear the drumming, and so we were walking over. I was just like, "Oh yeah, let's go!"
Yeah.
And that was really awesome. There was also the cosplay meetups that were normally happening on the balcony of the Marriott. I remember the Alien Stage meetup was moved to indoors, and it was so funny because a couple of the cosplayers were getting a little bit fan servicey, and the people coming, they just started screaming and yelling in the most fangirl way to the point where
I
one of the
see, I see.
TCC security guys came over to check out what was going on.
That is funny.
Our attendees literally made the security fear for someone's life.
Uh-huh.
Hey, at the end of the
Fandom
night,
does that.
at the
With
end
all
of the
due-
night, we saw some TCC and security staff buying some
Yeah.
of our merch. That
True.
was pretty freaking awesome.
Oh, and you know, this is sort of a well, it's not a secret because we've released the staff photos before, the one that Nancy was talking about being in this year. But like we actually included some staff members this year.
We did.
Sorry, not some staff members. We included some members of the
TCC
security
staff.
team. Yeah, some TCC staff. Just because we do it together, and honestly,
couldn't
we
do
can't
it
do the
without
job that
them.
we can't. Yeah, it's a big part. And they're
Absolutely.
really good people as well. Like I hope that just about everybody had positive experiences with them. And if you didn't, I think there's a reason, and you can figure that out on your own why. But I think they genuinely have a good time hanging out because the other funny thing is, for people who don't know about the CTCC, is that it's mostly like a venue space for like business presentations and business
Conventions
expos.
and conferences,
Yeah, like oil and gas is a big thing, and other
energy.
yeah.
I think
it's like
Otafest is a very big breath of fresh air for them.
yes,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, and they're very very helpful and have supported us from day one since we kind of came into Otafest, into the moved from the university, I should say. So, big props to them. I hope they had fun as well. Their security cosplays were on point. The uniforms, really well
They're
put together.
Also, their
Group
security
photos.
responsibilities were very on point.
Yes. But yeah, super, super good time. And I noticed that, they would hang out outside a lot to come see, what was happening and watch, yes, do their jobs, but obviously I think they enjoy themselves around our group.
Do you ever think that the TCC staff who oversee events for Otafest ever jokingly fight or argue about who gets to be positioned where sometimes?
Maybe they're like,
I bet
oh,
they
sweet,
do.
I want to be in vendors or something like that.
I want to be in the main events.
Yeah. Exhibitors hall, please.
Or at the very
Maybe.
least, they might get assigned to a certain area, and they're just like in their mind, they're like, yes,
Yeah. That's where I want it to be. Could be, could be.
yeah.
Well, you know how at home you kind of used to trade chores with your sibling. You'd be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'll wash the
Well-
dishes tonight if you do the laundry for me or something." Do
Sure,
you ever think they
sure.
do that, where they're just like, "Hey,
Trades.
I'll trade you, I'll trade you
Maybe.
exhibition hall if I can be in main events tonight, watch some of the drag show."
As someone who did work security for a while, I can tell you absolutely you have preferred positions. You're just gonna.
Oh,
I
You're just
yeah.
believe
gonna,
it.
right?
I believe
Um,
it.
Like some people would prefer to be in backstage areas. Some people would prefer to be like front of house areas and all that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised, especially with the just crazy amount of like eclectic events that we have going on. They would definitely have a preference. What was I gonna say? There was something else. Oh, speaking of outside, real quick, we got amazingly good feedback about our Itasha car show.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me more.
Just the participants themselves were super enthusiastic that we've started creating a venue for them as well, so they can obviously show off their work, their passion, which is huge, right?
You know,
It
it's
feels
really
like it should have gone
interesting
hand to
me.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. So it's really interesting to me that no one ever directly called this out, but the Venn diagram between car enthusiasts and anime waifu lovers is very, very large in overlap.
Oh
It's
yeah.
almost a circle.
It is almost
The
a circle.
people who
I'm
love their
honestly
cars,
surprised.
they're predisposed to loving things and being obsessed about things, right?
Yes.
Exactly. But also, car culture is a really big thing in Japanese culture anyway.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
just,
I
it's a really
loved-
big thing.
So I got to be a last minute judge for the car show.
You did? Oh.
Yeah. So
I'm
that was
so
super fun.
envious.
I'm not as into the car scene anymore just because I just kind of fell out of it, but I always will harbor a love for like JDM vehicles, and the variety was really good. I liked a lot of the work that I was seeing on these vehicles, and it was really just like bragging rights. We weren't trying to make someone feel good or bad about, the work they put in their vehicles. But my favorite is still like, if I had to choose like a judge's choice favorite, I would just choose the K truck that showed up, because they were like, I have a K truck. I don't. They were like, it wasn't particularly modded in any way, but they were like, this is clearly Japanese vehicle. Please allow
I
This is
wanted
a
a
right-hand
truck
drive.
so badly, but there was a Mokoko. There was a Mokoko Suzuki Cappuccino there.
Yes,
And I loved it. Oh my god.
it was so cute. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, it looks like a miniaturized version of a Honda S2000.
Yes, it is a little K car sports car, and it's
Yes.
adorable. It
It's
is
so
so
adorable.
small and so cute.
Yes.
I actually missed the car show. I was at Hayden Block with some friends.
Oh.
And as we were leaving, the Mochaco Cappuccino rolled in, and I was like, this was definitely at the Otafest car show. I'm talking to Nancy about it the day after, and Nancy's showing me the pictures, and I'm like, there it is. There's the Mochaco car.
That one. It was honestly like when we were on the plus 15 at night, when the cars were kind of rolling in
Yep.
and people were showing them off. I took some photos from up above because I was like, Angelo's not here. He's going to want to see this. So yeah, I took some pictures for Angelo and I showed him the next day, and he was like, that one, I saw that one. And he got so
Yes.
excited.
Yes,
Funny story.
I love them.
Funny story as well. So we judged a total of, I think it was 17 vehicles
Okay.
that arrived, which is a great number, honestly, for a first year organized event. An 18th vehicle showed up.
Oh
They
my
were
god.
like, I'm not part of the car show. That's not what I expect. But my friend told me that this was happening, like a friend that was participating in it. And I was just wondering if I could roll up and just park my car here and just so people can see it. And we were like, sure.
Go for it. I love that.
Yeah, I was like,
That's wonderful.
means.
That's amazing.
I love that for them.
yeah, I
I love that they
considered
got a chance
doing
to show it off.
Yeah, I was considering doing like a just for fun judgment of their vehicle, but I was like, it's okay, Didn't wanna bog, because like it took a little bit. We had to go through 5 categories for points for each vehicle, so we were trying to be very like objective,
Thorough.
You know what's
Wow.
hilarious? So you know how I was saying and joking about how we should get some waifu rap for Dio's Camaro?
Oh my God. Did you?
Is it happening?
Dio is warming up to the idea finally.
Oh,
Dio's
We're getting
finally
there.
warming
We're getting
up.
there. We're
Dio
getting
would have
there.
warmed up sooner if they were also at the Atasha.
Oh yeah, 100%. The
Right?
difference is Dio's not thinking of a waifu.
Of course
Dio
not.
is thinking
husbando?
of a husbando.
Yeah,
Is
of
it
course.
gonna-
Dio wants
Is
one
it-
of her Love and Deep Space boys
her lads?
on the
yes,
car.
she does.
Her lads.
One of the lads.
One of the lads. Absolutely, she does.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. That makes me happy. I can't wait.
That would be
Oh,
hilarious.
excited.
Classic American sports car with
With a husbando on it.
Well, that's what's funny about it,
very-
because the boy that Dio wants to put on the car is a
Yeah.
classic car collector.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see Dio is spamming us. Silas. I don't know who Silas is, but all right.
It's gonna be
Silas
Silas. I knew it. I knew it would be Silas.
So
anyway,
what I'm
getting
thinking,
off
to
topic.
get Silas on the side, maybe get him drawn in like a maid dress or something, because that'd be funny. He has a pet crow and a giant crow on the hood. On the hood of a Camaro would be really, really funny.
Yes,
because-
it would.
But it makes me feel like it's
The
trying to cosplay as a
1988.
Firebird.
That's what's funny about it, Jay. That is literally what's funny about it. The 1988 Camaro is literally the exact same car as a 1988 Firebird. The
Yeah.
Pontiac Firebird for that year was a rebadged Camaro. Literally the same car.
Oh, yeah, that's really funny.
So we put a crow on the hood. Yeah.
I would love to see Dio's father's face. When
When his car
that
that
reveal.
he bought 33 years ago,
Yeah,
is plastered with some big muscular man,
yeah.
he'd probably get a
Dio
kick
would
out
be
of
like,
it.
"It's my car now."
Yep.
Dio is just in our DMs being like, bitch, it's the same year as you. And I'm just like, yes, but I saw, you showed me the paperwork from when he bought it, and he bought it in like 91 or 92.
Ah, that's fair. Did the maths.
Oh.
Quick
I did
maths.
the maths.
All right. Very good, very good. But yes, just wanted to spotlight that because it is a new thing that we did on an official basis. We had an unofficial one last year, but it was very well received. I am not the person who gets to determine what we do for that kind of event. We are not, I'm not the organizer for it, but speaking on behalf of the very positive feedback we received from the participants themselves,
I want it
I
to
would
happen
really love
again.
to do more.
I want it
Yes.
to happen
I would love to
again.
support their community more.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Atasha community,
do
I
it.
want the Calgary Atasha community to go nutty.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I want them to go all out next year.
I heard that somebody they didn't get to participate in the end, but they were planning to fly their vehicle over from Ontario.
Excuse?
What?
Excuse?
Can you do
Yeah.
that?
You
I mean,
can if you
yeah.
want to pay crazy freight charges.
I'm like, we're not like a professional with this. Nothing like my judgment. I have an amateur's eye. I know what I'm looking for. Maybe
I
more
could
than
understand
most, but
like road tripping from Ontario, but flying it out, like
Yeah.
even road tripping from Ontario, depending on what way you go, that is like
Okay.
a 2 to 4 day drive, depending on the route you take,
Correct.
and that is
Yes.
a massive investment already to actually fly the car out. That is next level.
And your own personal comfort. But if your personal pride is on the line for this, then I understand.
So here's the thing. I don't some part of me understands that like passion drives most people's actions, but we've had weird brush ins with people of different communities where like they're unexpectedly high profile, because I remember back at the university days when we were first starting to host like fighting game tournaments. There was a very notable pro player who came in. I don't know why he came in to Otafest. He beat the crap out of everybody, and it's not like we had some crazy prize, but it was his gamer tag is Mewtwo King. He was very well known in like Melee and Brawl. I don't know if he's played beyond that because I don't follow that scene specifically, but like he came in to Otafest. It just was like, I heard there was a tournament. Nerds, give me.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna take all your stocks and then I'm leaving. No,
Oh
he was a
my
nice dude.
God.
I talked to him
Wow.
briefly, but I was just like, this was back when Otafest is also like maybe like a 8 or 7,000 person con at best. Like, and our Smash tournament was just a room in one of the Science Theater hallways. I
Yep.
don't know.
I remember that.
Listen,
It was
fighting
great.
fighting game gamers are a different breed. They will
Uh-huh.
have a fighting game tournament in a specific bathroom stall in a Denny's in the middle of nowhere, and they will go.
Yeah.
True.
Okay.
They will host a tournament under the table at a Red Robin's, and you have to bring your own onion rings, and they will go.
Wow.
It's true. But
That is
yeah,
that's
we
dedication.
foster and we showcase those communities.
And that makes me happy. I love experiencing other people's passions like this.
It's just really nice. It's really good.
It is.
Ah.
Honestly. You know what else was really good?
Oh,
Nani?
Closing ceremonies.
yeah.
Closing ceremonies dropped at the very end. Next year's dates, location, which is not changing, so that's not a surprise. The first batch of angel passes, and next year's theme.
Oh.
And if you missed it, that's just too bad.
I
Buy a
have it
badge
on-
and go next year.
I have it on good authority that the first batch of Angel Passes sold out in 3 minutes.
3
3
whole
minutes.
At 9:03 p.m. on Sunday night of Otafest, they sold out.
I also have
Oh
it on
my
good
God.
authority that one of my friends who traditionally does their best to buy an Angel Pass missed the window because they were tending to their newborn child who was crying for
Oh,
food. And they
I
That is
were
know
like,
unfortunate.
exactly who that is, and I'm so happy that you. Oh, I saw
Gave
pictures of
them
the
a
baby,
shout
and they're
out.
so cute.
yes, but they didn't get an Angel Pass. And they were like, what the heck, baby? I
I
can't believe
Starting
you've
off that
done
understand.
this.
relationship on a bad foot.
They
Yeah.
couldn't come because they are a brand new mother, and
Yes.
I'm so happy for them. And hopefully, I will see them again next year if it works
Yes.
out.
Hope it
Young
does.
children are a thing that exists, and I understand.
The
Mhm.
Otafest family grows in literal way.
Literally.
Yeah.
We
Very
start them
good.
young.
We sure do.
Yeah.
Can I talk about that real quick? Like,
Okay.
so we have a lot of staff with children, okay? And
Correct.
some of these children have been born into Otafest. And the only way I can describe their capabilities is that they have Otafest in their blood. Whereas we started as a ragtag group of anime nerds that
They were
had
born
to
in it,
build Otafest.
molded
Yes,
by it.
they
So,
were.
so what you're saying
Here's the thing.
is that we've genetically modified the next
Maybe
generation of
it's-
staff.
It's like generational trauma, except positive. Because
Selective
so-
breeding?
God, let's. I don't want to use the words I'm using in my head.
Don't use those words.
Yeah, all I know is that it's funny because there were several instances in which the Ota babies, the Ota children, who are like, they're like 8, 9, 10 years old kind of range now, and they were actively seeking responsibilities
Yeah.
in volunteering. They were like, I want to like do the Square like I want to sell stuff on Square. Like I want to control the iPad and input whatever. Or some of the kids did like line control briefly, and they were like masterfully commanding said line in ways that I have not seen even our experienced volunteers in some ways, and especially new volunteers. They like these children have Otafest in their blood, and it's wild.
I
I shouldn't-
cannot wait to see them grow.
Yeah, I
For
shouldn't
real.
be too surprised because I remember that's what it's sort of like. I grew up from like a restaurant background where my parents were both chefs and restaurant owners and things like that. And because of that, I felt like I had more of an insight on how to run something like that. And that's how I did May Cafe. I was like, I understand how a restaurant needs to be run. I can do a May
Nice.
Cafe for 3 days.
Whoa. There was another change this year that we haven't done, to my understanding, ever. But at the very least for a very long time. We actually had badges this year. No more
Yeah.
wristbands.
Yes.
They are so nice.
While I did think the cloth wristbands were really cool and a nice memento, I do love badges. You get the lanyard,
too.
you get the
Me
badge.
too.
And a trend that has been going around anime conventions in North America for the last few years, badge ribbons. Badge ribbons were going
yes.
crazy this year.
True.
First year out of the gate, and we're already going nuts with badge ribbons, huh?
I got a few of them, and you could find a lot of them in Artist Alley in vendors. If you would buy something from a booth, a lot of the booths would have a badge for you, which was really nice. A lot of just friends and homies, they just had badges printed out. One of
Like
my
arm candy?
one of my favorite things was a massive prank being pulled on one of our friends of the convention, Instagram famous cosplayer Ozzy J. Lee.
Oh my god, is that famous Twitch streamer Ozzy J. Lee?
Exactly. One of our friends printed out a massive stack of badge ribbons, and anytime they ran into someone who knew Austin, they would give them 2 ribbons. And here was the
I see.
mission. Missions, I tell you. Side quests, just like the fantasy adventure theme of the convention. if you saw Austin, you had to walk up to him and be like, OMG, is that famous cosplayer Ozzy J. Lee? And then you would hand him one of the ribbons. After that, you could attach the ribbon to your own badge. Austin finished the convention weekend with 37 of these ribbons.
And I didn't even have to contribute to that.
Were they all attached?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was like, I just want him to have a extraordinarily cumbersome badge.
Yeah. Like, it's sort of the way I see it in my head. I didn't see Ozzy very much over the convention weekend, but the way I see it in my head, it's kind of like when you get a very aged, weary old man and he's never, ever shaved his beard and it's just dragging all over the floor and the poor man's tripping all over. That's how I see it.
True.
By the end of this convention, Ozzy with 37 badge ribbons of the same thing, plus anything else he may have picked up that he actually liked.
I lost my badge before pre-reg opened on Thursday.
Wow.
No, you did not.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jay out here
like,
just casually ghosting the convention?
Entirely. Yeah. I'm like, I don't have authorization to be here. I gotta leave. No, I was like, because we were doing setup obviously on Thursday in the afternoon, and I had gotten my badge, and then my mom called me, so we had like a chat over the phone, and I do this thing where I'm a pacer when I'm on the phone. If I can be.
Oh, okay.
So I started pacing and I started walking around different areas of the convention. And after I got off the phone, I was like, my badge is gone.
Oh no!
Wow.
But I found it. I did find it pretty quickly after. I just had to retrace a little bit about where all the places I'd been. Which, in fairness, I walked around like 80% of our convention space. But
Jeez.
I did find it, and I was like, oh, here it is. And it was in like the lowest traffic area possible. Like there was almost nobody else that would have gone there. And I was like, okay, we're good.
Nice.
We're safe.
We're good.
Nice.
We're good.
Very
Nice.
responsible of me. 17
Very
years.
responsible. Wow.
Ah.
I can't be
Now,
trusted.
Normally, we do this sort of thing at the beginning of an episode. But I think just as we did it at the end of closing ceremonies, I think we can do it at the end of our episode here. We have our first special guest announcement for Otafest 2026.
Yes.
Otafest, please welcome Kira Buckland. Kira Buckland is a voice actor best known as the English voice of Jolene Kujo in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean, Mitsuri Kanroji in Demon Slayer, Kuki Shinobu in Genshin Impact, and 2B in Nier Automata.
Mm-hmm.
So exciting. Oh my gosh.
I've
so
played
excited.
that game.
2026. We're going to do this all over again, and it's going to be even better than this year.
Even better.
Even better. This year felt so good. Next year's going to be even better.
I remember when we were recording the ending for closing ceremonies, we kept rewriting one line, and we were like, best Otafest ever. Well, that just implies it's all downhill from here. Best Otafest yet.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. I think we had a lot of fun with the script this year. We really just changed things up whenever we felt like it. And in all honesty, I feel like this is the kind of stuff that we do have to just run with on vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And what's really
Real
funny...
Look at how good it was at the very, very end.
Yeah. The vibes are so strong for next year already that we've already started scripts.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear them.
We're inspired.
We're inspired.
We've been conspiring even.
Conspiring.
Conspiring, you say.
Episode of the
Next week's
podcast.
episode. All right.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Be good. Bye-bye.